Welcome to my wonderful, luxurious garage. One little tiny extra step for this trip out to St. George. I had to pack this bike case. Last year, when the three of us went to Finland, we all used tri-bike transport. Overall, pretty good experience, and I plan to use them again when we went to Indian Wells, but you know, things happened. And for the 2024 race season and beyond, now I am a big boy and I have a hard shell bike case to put on an airplane. I am almost a religious believer in nothing new on race day. And that includes this huge bike case. And I did not want to use this thing for the first time going to a race. So part of why Katie and I went to Austin to visit Tiff and Cait about a month ago was so I could go through packing all of this. It took me like 20 minutes to pack this thing up in the garage yesterday, and there was no stress because I'd already done it twice and kind of knew the whole process. So as crazy as it sounds that I took my bike to Austin for a very short bike ride with them that was not race related, it had a very good purpose because I feel comfortable with this thing now, and my goodness, has TSA beat it up. So it's getting worn in real quick. All looks good, but of course, as you'd expect, our friends at the TSA came and checked it out. They left contraband on, which is annoying. So this is Sand Hollow State Park. It's very red and picturesque and down in a valley. This is where we do the swim, and my bike I just dropped off at T1. And from here, we're gonna go back to town for T2, which is where I start the run. But split transition here, so one gear bag here, one over in town. So tomorrow's technically my 5th season doing triathlon, but in a lot of ways, it's probably more like my 2nd season doing triathlon. A year ago, I was training for Chattanooga, and at that point, my best time was 6 hours and 30 some odd minutes. And then I had the season of my dreams where I was sub 5:30 in all 3 races, and every race was a little bit faster. It included a world slot. It was everything I could have hoped for. So I honestly kind of don't know what the measuring stick should be for season 2, season 5, whatever you want to call it. But if nothing else, what's different about Colin for this season is I know what I did last year, and I like to think I can keep doing it this season too. Hello and welcome to the bathroom at the Town Place Suites in St. George. It's time for leg shaving. Yeah, I have no comments anymore. This is just this thing that I do. So here we go. At least it's not an Instagram Live. Part 2. Finished. Now I'm race ready. This is the hardest course I've ever tried, so see how it goes.
Let's go, Colin! Yeah, you got this!
Statistically, swimming is my weakest discipline, but it's the one I enjoy the most, and I really enjoyed this swim. The water was basically perfect. It was nice and calm. The views around me were incredible, and even though I was working and obviously getting that swim done, I was having a really good time.
Let's go, Colin!
Water was 62 degrees, so definitely a wetsuit swim. The first 100 yards or so, it was the usual cold burning on your face, like as you jump into cold water. But after that, the water felt great. No real issues. It's a pretty easy swim. You just go out, you turn right, come back. So nothing too technical. Sun wasn't really in my eyes much of the way, and I had a good swim. A good swim by my standard right now is about 40 minutes, and this race was 42, so super happy with that. T1, uneventful. The best way to describe T1 is there's nothing to note. And I was excited to get onto the bike because I knew like that's the main event, like all these mountains and everything behind us. Like that's why people come is because of the bike course. So the first 10 miles, pretty flat. The last 10 miles, downhill. And it's that middle 30. That's where you do all your 3,000 feet of climbing and make or break your race. So I enjoyed the bike course. The hills weren't as terrible as I feared, including Snow Canyon. And my nutrition worked out well. Climbed up the hills, stayed in aero, never had to get into the tiny gears or anything. I hate saying that there's not much to note on the 70.3 St. George bike ride, but it was a pretty uneventful ride. No mechanical issues, no nutritional issues, and my legs got me up Snow Canyon and then back down to T2. T2, not a whole lot to write about. Got my running shoes on and set off for a hilly run course. If there's a discipline that I'm a little disappointed in, it would be the run, even though if you go by age group rankings, this is where I perform my best. I'm pretty proud of the fact that generally I can negative split these half marathons. And I know with St. George, it's a little skewed because there's hills along the way. But I hit a really big wall around mile 12, and it was as bad a cramp and a side stitch as I've ever had in a race. And I knew I was just a mile away from finishing, and I was struggling. So I felt that sort of all the way across the finish line. But really, honestly, if that's my biggest complaint, is that I got a little pain in the final mile of a 70.3, particularly this 70.3. It was a good day. So no complaints, and overall a wonderful race day experience.
From Johnson Station, we got Colin Lord coming on down. Yes, Colin, put those hands up. You just finished Ironman 70.3.
At every single race in 2023 and the Longhorn Run earlier this year in 2024, I've set a PR in that distance. It's a ridiculous streak that went on for more than a year, and thankfully that streak ended with St. George. There was no way I was ever going to set a PR with these kind of climbs for 70.3. So going into it, I knew that streak was going to end, and if anything, it's a little bit of a weight off my back because it became this thing in the back of my mind that, oh, I have to set a PR or it's not a good race. I didn't set a PR today in any discipline, and it was a terrific race. Instead of setting a PR, I'm leaving with something way better. There isn't a 70.3 course in North America that intimidates me anymore. Having done this, there's not a lot else that I fear, and that sounds sort of goofy, but in a lot of ways I'm still a newbie triathlete, and there were races out there, including this one, that I never would have wanted to even try out of fear, but I tried this one and I had a great day. And that includes not just the race itself, but logistics. I'm confident enough that I can break down my bike, put it in a case, throw it on a plane, come to a hotel, and rebuild it. So from the logistics to the courses themselves, there isn't a 70.3 in North America that scares me anymore. And that's a really cool feeling.
3 days later.
So we're back in Springdale because somebody left his wetsuit hanging in the shower, and maid service had to pick it up and bag it for me. Very grateful to have this because, it's expensive rubber.
Bonus time in Zion.